The accusative case of a noun is the grammatical case used to mark the direct object of a transitive verb. The same case is used in many languages for the objects of prepositions. It is a noun that is having something done to it, usually joined with the nominative case. The syntactic functions of the accusative consist of designating the immediate object of an action, the intended result, the goal of a motion, and the extent of an action. The accusative case existed in Proto-Indo-European and is present in some Indo-European languages, in the Uralic languages, in Altaic languages, and in Semitic languages. Finnic languages, such as Finnish and Estonian, have two cases to mark objects, the accusative and the partitive case. In morphosyntactic alignment terms, both perform the accusative function, but the accusative object is telic, while the partitive is not. Modern English, which almost entirely lacks declension in its nouns, does not have an explicitly marked accusative case even in the pronouns. Such forms as whom, them, and her derive rather from the Old Germanic dative forms, of which the m and r endings are characteristic. This conflation of the old accusative, dative, instrumental, and genitive cases is the oblique case. Most modern English grammarians no longer use the Latin accusative, dative model, though they tend to use the terms objective for oblique, subjective for nominative, and possessive for genitive. Hein, a true accusative masculine third-person singular pronoun, is attested in some Northern English dialects as late as the 19th century. In German the accusative case is written so accusative, and in German there is also called the dative case. Etymology. The English name, accusative, is an anglicization of the Latin accusativus, which was translated from ancient Greek alpha tau iota kappa, etyatik. The Greek term can mean either, for something caused, or, for an accusation. The intended meaning was likely the first, which would be translated as Latin causativus or effectivus, but the Latin term was a translation of the second. Compare Russian vinit lnyj, from vinit, to blame. Description. In the sentence he sees the woman, he is the subject of the sentence, while in the woman sees him is the object. In English the two uses are distinguished by different forms of the pronoun he, him. If, however, instead of a pronoun, we use a noun, we make no such distinction in the form of the word. Thus, we use the same word, man, in both the man sees the woman and the woman sees the man. In many languages, however, different forms of the word are used not only for pronouns, but for nouns too. For example, in Latin the man sees the woman equals ver feminam vidit, while the woman sees the man equals femina virum vidit. For man, Latin uses ver for the subject, and virum for the object. Likewise, in the same pair of sentences, we have femina for a subject and feminam for object. The form used for the direct object is known as the accusative case, while the form used for the subject is known as the nominative case. Just as with pronouns and nouns, many inflected languages also make distinctions between cases in their adjectives and articles. Thus in German, the giant, as the subject of a sentence may be expressed as der Ries. Nominative case. As the object of a verb, this becomes den Riesen, the accusative. Examples. Indo-European languages, Latin. In Latin, nouns, adjectives, or pronouns in the accusative case can be used as direct object to indicate duration of time, e.g., multos annus, for many years, ducentos annus, for 200 years. This is known as the accusative of duration of time, to indicate direction towards which, e.g., domum, homewards, Romum, to Rome, with no preposition needed. This is known as the accusative of place to which, and is equivalent to the lative case found in some other languages, as the subject of an indirect statement, with case-specific prepositions such as per, ad, and trans. In exclamations, such as me miserum, wretched me. For the accusative endings, see Latin declension. Latin prepositions. Some Latin prepositions take a noun in the accusative, e.g., in casa, in the cottage, in casum, into the cottage. This aide-memoire was taught in schools when Latin was on the curriculum. Anti, apud, adversus, circum, circa, citra, ciis, contra, inter, erga, extra, infra, intra, iuxta, ob, penus, pone, post, and praeter, prepi, propter, per, secundum, supra, versus, ultra, trans, ad super, subter, sub, and in. When motion, tis, not, state, they mean, asterisk asterisk or try, asterisk asterisk can't these if motion be intended, let in, sub, super, subter be appended. German uses the accusative to mark direct objects and objects of certain prepositions, or adverbs relating to time. The accusative is only marked for masculine articles, pronouns, adjectives, and weak nouns. German articles. The masculine forms for German articles, e.g., der, ein, mein, etc., change in the accusative case. They always end in n. The article of feminine, neutral and plural forms do not change. For example, Hund is a masculine word, so the article changes when used in the accusative case. Ich habe einen Hund. In this sentence, a dog is in the accusative case as it is the second idea of the sentence. German pronouns. Some German pronouns also change in the accusative case. German prepositions. The accusative case is also used after particular German prepositions. These include bis, dick, entlang, für, gegen, ohne, after which the accusative case is always used, and off, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, zwischen, which can govern either the accusative or the dative. The latter prepositions take the accusative when motion or action is specified, but take the dative when location is specified. These prepositions are also used in conjunction with certain verbs, in which case it is the verb in question which governs whether the accusative or dative should be used. German adjectives. Adjective endings also change in the accusative case. Another factor that determines the endings of adjectives is whether the adjective is being used after a definite article, after an indefinite article, or without any article before the adjective. German adverbial use. In German, the accusative case is also used for some adverbial expressions, mostly temporal ones, as in diesen Abend bleibe ich daheim, where diesen Abend is marked as accusative, although not a direct object. Russian. In Russian, the accusative is used not only to indicate the direct object of an action, but also to indicate the destination or goal of motion. It is also used with some prepositions. The prepositions and can both take the accusative in situations where they indicate the goal of a motion. In the masculine, Russian also distinguishes between animate and inanimate nouns with regard to the accusative. Only the animates carry a marker in this case. In fact, Russian almost lost the real pi accusative case, since only singular feminine nouns ending in a have a distinct form. Other words use the genitive case or the nominative case in place of the accusative, depending on their animacy. Armenian. While the Armenian dialects both have a de facto accusative case, Eastern Armenian uses an accusative marker for transitive verbs. Example: Gurk, book, use uchich, teacher. Arama vertrek, Gurki Aram took the book. Arama siru meir use uchan, Aram loves his teacher. Greek. In both ancient and modern Greek, nouns, adjectives, verb participles, articles and pronouns are used in the accusative case when they indicate a direct object or if they are preceded by a preposition. There is a wide variety of accusative markers depending on gender, number and declension. Like in Latin, all neuter names yield the same form in both the nominative and the accusative case in ancient Greek. In its modern successor, this rule also extends to most feminine nouns, except these ending to omicron sigma. Example: he was also calumniating Socrates. In ancient Greek, delta iota epsilon beta alpha lambda lambda epsilon delta kappa alpha tau nu sigma omega kappa rho alpha tau eta nu. In modern Greek, delta iota epsilon beta alpha lambda lambda epsilon kappa alpha iota tau omicron nu sigma omega kappa rho alpha tau eta. Constructed languages Esperanto grammar involves only two cases, a nominative and an accusative. The accusative is formed by the addition of n to the nominative form, and is the case used for direct objects. Nabon. Other case functions, including dative functions, are achieved with prepositions, all of which normally take the nominative case. Direction of motion can be expressed either by the accusative case, or by the preposition al with the nominative. Edo. In Edo the n suffix is optional, as subject-verb-object order is assumed when it is not present. Note that this is sometimes done in Esperanto, especially by beginners, but it is considered incorrect while in Edo it is the norm. Uralic languages Finnish. According to traditional Finnish grammars, the accusative is the case of a total object, while the case of a partial object is the partitive. The negative forms of verbs always take the partial object, whereas in positive sentences it depends on the nature of the action. The main rule being that incomplete or indefinite action requires a partial object. The accusative singular is identical either to the nominative or the genitive. In plural, only nominative accusative exists. The active verb forms usually require the total object in the genitive accusative, and passive forms take the nominative accusative. The only exceptions to this rule are imperative first and second persons, and the rarely used third infinitive in instructive, which take the total object in nominative accusative. The personal pronouns and the personal interrogative pronoun kuka can have a special accusative form ending in t, which is used in place of both nominative accusative and genitive accusative. For example, the accusative form of han is hanet, and the accusative form of kuka is kene. The major New Finnish grammar, Isosuomenkieliopi, breaks with the traditional classification by limiting the accusative case to the special case of the personal pronouns and kuka, ken. The new grammar considers other total objects as being in the nominative or genitive case. Hungarian. The accusative case in Hungarian applies to nouns, pronouns, even to adjectives and numerals when either of them stands alone in the sense of direct object. Accusative is formed by the suffix t. In many cases, t is preceded by a suffix initial vowel, primarily based on specific vowel harmony, resulting in a, oat, or oat. The rules are complex, also involve consonants, and have exceptions. Thus, curtet, garden, keket, blue, hatot, 6 polcot, shelf, codot, fog. In some words, a low vowel or e appears instead of the expected harmonic vowel, e.g., fallet, wall, nilcat, 8, conivet, book. In fewer cases, the root of the word is also affected. Word endings a or e will change to a and e acute, respectively, before t, e.g., fa to fat. The long vowel of a one-syllable word may get shortened, e.g., to urate, but, bu to burt. If a word has more than one syllable and the last syllable ends in a consonant, the vowel of the last syllable may drop, e.g., corom to cormote, but, corom to coromet. Notably, the first-person and second-person personal pronouns have quite unique accusative forms. Semitic languages, an ending for accusative case existed in Proto-Semitic, Akkadian, and Ugaritic, but today it is preserved only in literary Arabic and Ge'ez. Akkadian nominative, Awilam accusative, Apaki Dawilam classical Arabic. In Arabic, the accusative case is called an nasb, and a word in the accusative case is called al-mansub, both from the verb nazabar, set up. The accusative is used in 51 places, but mainly to mark the object of a verb and to form adverbs. Nominative, rajulan, a man, rajulu, the man. Accusative,